Hello, bit of a random video, but I've recently been doing, like, I know I've mentioned it a lot in recent videos about drinking. We did a stream with Cat G, if you remember. Who was like, it was really good. I think it was about a year ago, and it was kind of about how she'd recovered from sort of alcohol addiction, and we sort of talked about Lorne's situation. And how drinking has kind of been a massive factor in his life. I'm pretty sure that he'd have been drinking when he was in his teens. If you're struggling in life, alcohol seems to give you a release, but ultimately makes things worse in every way. There's no way that it could benefit you at all. The only thing it could do, really, is sometimes it can be a necessary evil. And it could be like someone could struggle with the pressures of life so much, but yet drinking gives them an escape. But it comes at a cost, a huge cost. It's a little bit like antidepressants. I'm really sort of against those. Well, like it matters, but I don't mean I'm against them. Like, not that it, not fucking. No one gives a shit if I'm against it. The point is, it's overused. There is a bit of a paradox. It ultimately doesn't solve any of your problems, but I believe there is no doubt that it will have saved some people's lives. Because it gives you a release from the pain, and that can give you time to get your shit together. And I believe alcohol is exactly the same. I think that in some cases, that like the pain of life can get too much, but alcohol gives you a release. You can sort of escape, but like I said, there's many costs to that. If you look at Lorne, look at the situation with regard to his recent arrest that happened nearly a year ago. It was all alcohol related, breaking the terms of his kind of his probation, if you will, his conditions of sobriety and whatnot. Listen to I've not heard. There's so much content out there, long content that I've never heard. The only recent stuff I've really listened to are the Tiffany calls and the early Ramona stuff. That Lorne is a butthole thing, I think it was titled. If anybody's got access to the dump, I never check that, but I've got the original like it's some kind of, well, it is kind of a magical piece of art in a way. The Lorne is a butthole thing. It's like 3.5 hours that I've got, and Lorne's drunk for the whole duration, not heavily, but his normal state. And it's the same with millions of people, and I know them, and I've got family members who are the same. In their normal state, it's very difficult for them not to be drunk, because they can't deal with the pain that they have to go through, or sometimes the memories, or whatever it may be. Because as humans, we have like a choice, don't we, to avoid pain, whether it's emotional pain or physical pain. We kind of have free will, and that creates problems, because if you look at like Lorne not facing up to his problems, it's the continuing theme of his life. It's like avoid responsibility, avoid dealing with problems, brush it under the carpet, and start something new. If Lorne had never picked up a bottle of beer, where would he have ever got in that chat room with Kayla? There will always be. It's up to, I don't know the answer, but it's up to you to decide yourself whether you think that he was born with this attraction to children. I'm not too sure he has the same level of attractions that someone like McFetridge does. But there is something unusual going on there. But there's millions of people in the world that have these bizarre sexual proclivities. His isn't extreme. I suppose from one aspect it's extreme, but from the stuff that you hear, especially the stuff you've heard at TCAP and all that, and the things you hear about in paedophile rings and things like that is pretty mild. He seems to have this bizarre fascination with kind of, girls turning 13 and 14, and, the stuff he uttered in the chat logs, pretty graphic. So, but I don't believe that, I've said this many times, it's a firmly held belief that nobody is born evil, that there's a number of circumstances, and it can just be bad decisions. It could be one bad decision that turns your life into this shit, basically. Lorne's made fucking a lot of things that, I think that he struggled when he was young at school, didn't make, he socially kind of awkward and whatnot. Didn't do well at school, had problems at home, tried his luck with the Air Force, that didn't work out. So if you think about how he would have felt at that point, abandoned by his father, he will have felt pretty shit about himself. What's your escape from that? If you've not got guidance, if you've not got somebody, if you've not got like a really supportive male role model or supportive family members or really close friends, you're in for a fucking tough life. I mean, a really tough life. It's very, very difficult. And of course, it does piss me off when people go, well, I didn't get nurtured and I turned out all right. Well, of course, it's like, it's such an ignorant argument to make, because of course, but like, there's 1,000,001 factors in each person's life. Every situation is unique, and everybody ultimately has a choice. But the more that you look into the kind of psychology behind it, or should I say, what you believe free will is, it becomes more and more clear that humans just kind of like mindless drones that walk round, kind of not knowing what the fuck to do, really. So, what do you have got in that chat room with Kayla? What would his life would have been like? Could he have jumped off a bridge? Would he have found some other poison? It's like I said, it's a very interesting topic, really, because it's like alcohol is a necessary evil of the human species. We're at a really fucking weird point in development now, where it's such a weird time to be alive. I believe that ultimately alcohol, when we evolve, thousands, hundreds of years, a couple of whatever, I don't know, no one will touch alcohol ever, because it will be how we look now at people burning witches. It'd be like ludicrous to suggest that someone would, that a whole society would be set up, and cultures and rituals set up to deliberately poison your body. It's ludicrous. It's only when you step away from it, and I'm not like claiming any kind of superiority or anything like that, because I've been a heavy drinker until about a couple of years ago. It's only when you've been, and I'm not glad, because I've been a lot more fucking successful and fulfilled now if I hadn't have ever had a drink, but I'm glad to have experienced that and then been able to step away, because it's only then that you realise what a ridiculous farce it is. Even like, I know people listening might think, well, I've had some great times drinking, it's yeah, I could say the same thing, but I also know that your mind makes you think that those were good times. It lowers your level of consciousness. If you'd never drunk and you found other ways of spending your time and other ways of fulfilling yourself, you would have a much more fuller life, and much more fulfilling and integral. It'd be tougher. This is the thing, it's a lot tougher. But everything that is worthwhile is always tougher. It's weird. You start to realise, why you're drunk in the first place. You get that little, because alcohol, it's a depressant. So it depresses you, and your brain has to compensate for that depression and start throwing serotonin around extra sort of quantities to pick you up. So you get that boost when you drink it. It's bizarre. So then you feel good, but then you need to keep stimulated, because if you don't, you drop. And that's why you keep drinking, because if you think when you're out drinking, your body doesn't need that much fluid. You need 2 litres, I believe you need 2 litres of water a day. And you're drinking alcohol, which actually dehydrates you. It's such a bizarre situation. But when, like, obviously the next day you feel like shit, because it's fucked with your brain chemistry. Your body, you're not producing that extra serotonin anymore. So you kind of like feeling like crap, and it's affecting your whole brain chemistry. It's affected everything, like your metabolism, your appetite. It affects your skin because you're dehydrated. It really it's crazy. It really is. Like, I think it's worth doing these videos because it's important. I think that, everybody becomes aware. Most people will just dismiss it and say, well, it's all right in moderation. No, it isn't. That's the biggest mistake that people make. How can poisoning yourself be okay in moderation? It's like, when people offer you bad food, or people will say, it's okay in moderation. I can have a burger tonight and then a pizza in 3 days and then this junk food and that junk food. It's okay in moderation. No, it isn't. It's like saying getting a knife and cutting yourself across the arm is okay in moderation. Yes, it's not going to kill you, but it'll harm you. It will always do some kind of damage to your body. So what you're saying is damage to your body is okay in moderation. What that means is it's not going to kill me. No, it won't. If you drink once a week, it's not going to kill you, but it's not okay in any situation. And it's quite a bold statement to say that, because it's kind of contradictory to what most people, especially in England, I don't think you're quite as bad as a nation of pissheads as what we are in England. I suppose that's why I'm making a bigger point about it than maybe what most people would sort of, this is a bit more intense than what most people would see, is because in Manchester in England, there's a huge drinking culture. Like, if you look at Oasis, the group who I fucking love, their whole fucking group of the image is based around drink. Like, there's a tune called Cigarettes and Alcohol, which was a rip-off of a T-Rex song, but it was on the first album, one of the most popular songs they've done. 'Cause all I need are cigarettes and alcohol. That's what I've been brought up with. My whole social life has always been based around drinking. And it takes a lot to step away from it, because you have to find things to compensate. So from a personal perspective, this is just me. I read a hell of a lot. I meditate. I save up money to go on holidays. I've just bought a fucking virtual reality headset, right? Just as just Oculus Quest. It's fucking brilliant. Talk about, because I have quite a disciplined life, right? So when I'm not working, I'm always trying to do like productive things. I don't like to waste time, whether it's learning by reading, whether it's like, looking after family members or meeting people or exercise. There's always something I've got to do. And I found that I wasn't getting quite enough fun, because it's important, and games are important. All mammals play to some degree. It's kind of important to our well-being. Fuck me, it's fucking such an amazing bit of equipment, because it's like I zone out, so I forget about all my problems for as long as I play it. You know what I mean? It's really important that we do that, and the problem is if you're drinking and then you stop, everything changes. Your social circles will change. You might even get grief off people, aggression. I had it once when I went to a fucking family funeral. I was actually like criticised and actually even faced aggression and ignorance from family members because I wasn't getting drunk. And it was like an insult to them. It's crazy. It really, really is. So, I mean, if you look at kind of Lorne's plight, his whole... he tried to get away from it. I remember when he was talking to Tiffany and he tried to stop drinking. I think he actually did achieve a certain amount of days, but he only did it because he thought he was going to get a girl out of it. A relationship that he's always chased after, he's longed for. And he lies about it often. He doesn't... You see, the problem is with alcohol as well is, and I've got a close family member who's still going through this terrible situation. There's a massive sense of denial, which is why they always say in AA, isn't it? Admitting it is the first step, and it's the most important one, because if you don't, you're never going to solve that problem. And people will choose to ignore the problem because it means too much to them. It's such a bizarre situation. It's like, well, my social circle will collapse, so I'm not going to give that up. But if you balance that with... The thing is as well, what you got to remember is when you're going out drinking, and the people, you say, oh, it's great, I'm socialising. 99 times out of 100, if you're going out drinking and having conversations with people whilst drinking, those conversations will be absolutely fucking pointless. You will be talking about complete shite, about things you know nothing about, that have no bearing on anything. It's generally just people thinking they know how the world's going to be run, or should be run. So they'll start bad-mouthing politics, fucking slagging off the wives or the husbands or the mates or whatever. And if I was the fucking coach of that team, I wouldn't have put him there. What a load of absolute fucking nonsense. You know what I mean? It's like, listen, we can all have a laugh, we should all have fun, but when you're drinking, drunk talk is just... And I fucking hate small talk, mate. I fucking hate it. It's like this fucking guy, right, who works... He's a nice guy, and I struggle with patience, me. It's like, I always go to one of the local coffee houses on my way home, right, after work. Just chill out and read and drink a cappuccino. Coconut cappuccino with vanilla in is fucking the drink version of sex, basically. It's fucking great. And this guy, who's in there sometimes. I don't know if he's a manager or not. He goes like, "Oh, you alright? Yeah." What I don't like, me, is like this over the top fake friendliness. Like I know he's trying to do his job and he's a nice guy and I'm not having a pop, but he always goes, "Oh, what have you been up to today?" Well, I always dodge the question because it's none of his fucking business. I'm not telling people who don't know what I've been fucking up to. It's like I bought a cardigan from the shop at the shopping mall the other week, and the guy, "So, what have you been up to today?" Who served me? It's obviously training that they've been told to do as part of customer service. I'm thinking, why am I'm not telling a complete fucking stranger what I've been doing for the fucking day. I don't know what this is about, but I'll tell you anyway. I'm not... why? I'm not... It's none of your business, dude. I'm not being rude, but fuck me. So I have to, I don't want to make an issue about it because I'll come across as a twat and I don't want to be horrible to people. So I always immediately dodge the question. So I'll go, "Not much. What have you been up to?" and immediately turn it round. Because I just find it a bit rude, really. It's like just going up to some random guy that you walk past. "Hey, pal, what have you been up to today?" You'd be like, "The fuck's he got to do with you?" Anyway, this guy in the coffee place, he every fucking single time... Thinking about it now, the blood pressure's up, right? He goes, "Would you like chocky on your cappuccino?" I'm like, "Fucking chocky? Oh, who fucking calls chocolate chocky for a start?" That pisses me off, right? This is the conversation that must have happened for the past year. I don't know how many times, fucking 200. would you like chocolate on top of your cappuccino? I go, no, mate, I don't want it. He's like, well, I'll get you next time. I goes, no, you won't. I don't have it, dude. He's like, okay, see you later. And I'm polite with him. I'm not being a dick because I know that being rude is being not nice. But I have to have the same fucking conversation every day, even though I say I don't have chocolate on my fucking cappuccino. Go, chocolate on top? No, dude, don't want it. Same conversation day after. Chocolate on top? No, dude. One day I'm going to get that fucking chocolate and throw it in his face, honestly. It winds me up so much. It's just like, fuck it. He's doing his job. I get it. But I just find it very frustrating. It's like he knows I'm not going to have it. So why is he going to ask me every fucking time? Is he on commission for fucking chocolate sprinkles? Fuck me. And the reason I don't have it is because I know fucking coconut cappuccinos are not the healthiest thing in the world. So, having chocolate on top isn't going to, it's not going to do anything. I mean, milk substitute's not too bad. It's, it's not like drinking poison, I suppose. Anyway, I digress about my lack of patience. But it's a little bit like, the old fucking... Can you imagine the conversations that Lorne has with Tony and Wendy when he was... Well, God bless him. R.I.P. Tony. Can you imagine the conversations he would have with... Oh, God. I mean, obviously I'd pay to fucking listen because Tony winding him up about TCAP. Can you imagine how fucking good that would be? Oh, my God. It would be entertaining. Don't get me. I mean, listening to Lorne drunk is very entertaining, isn't it? We get entertainment out of it, but the individual who's drinking, think about the atrocious things that people have done through drink as well. Murders and fucking rape and just despicable things. Like it's fucking mental. The more you think about it when you step outside and you start to... You see, this is what we're not very good at as humans. We're not very good at examining our own deep-seated behaviours. Really think simple things that we do as humans that we just think is normal, that fucking isn't. You know what I mean? It's just really, you got to take a step back and look at it and just go, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Just like bad food as well. Like, it's huge. I'll never forget, like, when I was on one of them dating, well, I still dabble on them every now and again, but fucking hell, relationships are hard work. I just can't be arsed with people. Do you know what I mean? I'm too comfortable doing my own shit, but I don't mind meeting people every now and again, so I keep my eye on the ball, and every now and again you flick through people's, and some girls put, not a health freak. And do you know what that means? Think about this, right? Think about this. That means that looking after oneself is not a priority, if that is your stance. That is fucking insanity personified. Now, you might think I'm putting too fine a point on it, but I'm not. So looking after looking after yourself is not a priority in your life. So eating crap food is more of a priority than looking after yourself. So what you're saying is, I'm slowly killing myself. That's what you're doing. It's fucking true. It's as good as getting a knife and fucking cutting your arm every day. But it's just a different way of doing it. It's ludicrous. Listen, I've been there. Like I said, I'm not judging and calling these people, but you have to wake up at some point, or you're going to have a fucking tricky existence. And it's crazy. Like, if an animal was to have a human mind, right, like a small mammal, something as simple as, I don't know, like a fucking squirrel or something, and you was to say to it, like, it was to realise that some animals didn't look after themselves. It wasn't a priority that animals would look after themselves. It's a concept that they wouldn't be able to grasp, because their whole existence is looking after themselves. do you know what I mean? It's like, so what do they do? They rummage around trying to find food. They get their nest. Everything is about their survival. So looking after themselves isn't a priority, it's the priority. That is their existence, to survive and look after oneself. The difference with humans is our survival is guaranteed in most Western countries, because we, in the UK, if you're not working, you get a free house, you get a free money, you get free everything. Even like talking about giving people free internet. Basically, your survival is guaranteed. So then, what do? So this is why there's so many fucked up people in the world. So if your survival is guaranteed and you don't have a goal, you don't have drive, you don't have, you're not too clued up, you're going to be fucked. You're going to struggle, aren't you? Because what are you going to do? There's so many bad temptations in the world. Poor food, spending your money on shite products, not exercising, all that kind of stuff. It's really going to be a struggle just to and that's what people do, because when we were hunter-gatherers, survival had to be a priority or you die. But it's not like that now. So things like depression, Alzheimer's, all these are diseases of the modern age. So as a human, you had to, as a hunter-gatherer, you were obviously naturally getting exercise. Your mind was focused. You was getting plenty of outdoor. You was outdoors. You was getting plenty of vitamin D. You had social interactions. You had a purpose. Everything that the human being needs was automatically done for you. It was within that task, and everybody had their own tasks within hunter-gatherer clans of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years ago. Everybody had the role, so you had a purpose. It didn't matter if you had to clean. Everybody had a purpose within the clans. So there was no time for depression. I'm sure that there was small, isolated incidents of it if someone got cast off or something like that. But I'm pretty sure they never had a word for it. It wouldn't have even been a concept to them. Because it was all about their survival. And now things are so different. I think there is a little bit of a sea change. Somebody like Lorne, this is why his case is so interesting and unique. It's kind of like everything that you... And what's weird is he's had the opportunities to do things. He joined the Air Force. He had his own business. He's kind of a resourceful guy in a way. He gets stuff done. Tries to have always all these different schemes. But at every point, he's always done the most stupid thing and fucked up and been the most... it's like every bad thing that one could do, he's done. But he's also come from... we're not talking about someone who was born into amazing wealth and then squandered it. There's plenty of those people. But sometimes that can be a blessing. There's someone that I know, right, who I don't like at all. And he... he's not a friend of mine. He's just someone I know. Well, obviously he's not a friend of mine. Otherwise, I would like him. And he was given a house because his mum and dad are rich. Which would seem like such a blessing. He doesn't have to worry about retirement funds. Doesn't have to worry about any of that. He's now early 30s. Never leaves his house. Is obese. Doesn't he just because there's no need to do anything. Everything's been provided for him. What's he got to strive for? Nothing. You know what I mean? It's the crazy conundrum of human existence, and it's tough. But it's ultimately like Lorne's never sat down and really thought, I can do better than this. I'm better than this. I want to do better than this. I think he probably has glimpses of it, but the temptations, and that's what it's all about, temptations do not deliver us from evil. Do not lead us into temptation. The world is set up deliberately to piss you off. It sounds ridiculous, but it's part of existence in the physical world. It's frustrating. It's meant to be frustrating. All these temptations that are thrown at you every day, like social media, getting dragged into silly arguments with people, and I see it like when I joined, when I bought this virtual reality headset. There's like a group online, like Oculus Quest group, and I thought it might give me some tips on games and doing that, and the shit that people come out with, literally fucking arguing with people about something that they've done wrong, or one person will come on and start talking about how the dad's fucking disrespected them that's got nothing to do with anything. The fucking shit that people waste their time, and it's little things like that you have to stay away from. Like, you could literally spend your entire day arguing with people on social media about, and what's the point? What are you gaining out of it? You're not going to change somebody's mind. Just that's one of the temptations. You've got to stay away from that. Petty arguing about nonsense and bad food and drink and hanging around with stupid people, toxic relationships. Fucking hell, toxic relationships and toxic drinking. Fucking hell. So where would Lorne be without drink? I've no fucking idea. So that is the conclusion to the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Honestly, though, I know I've gone off on one, but, I think you kind of got used to it by now. You see, the thing is, if one wouldn't drink in his position, like I said, it could be tragic. It could drive you to suicide, or it could make you and force you into taking positive change because you have to survive, and drink gives you an alternative. It's a bizarre situation. Whether I don't think Lorne could cope now without it, because he's got too much to deal with in his mind. He's not educated and smart enough to deal with what he's got to deal with. It's really only drink that can do that for him. Plus, all the catfishing's probably not I don't know, really. That could have kept him from making even more tragic decisions and doing even more stupid things. I don't know. Fucking hell, what a bizarre situation. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, so that's the conclusion of my rant. I do not fucking know where Lorne would be without me. Oh well, and why? I wonder why my channel hasn't got 10,000 fucking subscribers. Yeah, but anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed me ranting. Not really a rant, more of an indulgence in my stuff. But yeah, hopefully you've got something out of it, and yeah. So guys, we'll see you soon for more streams. So take it easy.